I just built these 2 chairs, and to do it, I had to buy $10,000 in tools. And I did it all to prove one simple point. But we'll get to that in a second. I started with enough material for 2 chairs. The first one I built normally, using all of the wood I started with. Honestly, for a first chair, it turned out all right. But for the second chair, I changed things up a bit. I wanted to see what would happen if I took the same amount of wood out the government takes out of our pockets every year. That means that for the second chair, I had 32% less wood to work with. How did we determine to remove 32%? Well, for the average American, around 15% of every dollar earned goes to taxes. But wait, there's more, because before taxes, another 17% of the average income is taken out by embedded government regulation. Together, that's a 32% cut from what could have been yours. The cost of regulations are largely invisible, but even regulations that might be beneficial have a real cost, and those costs are eventually paid by families. Additionally, these costs not only directly affect families, they can become barriers to innovation, job creation, and economic vitality. A study by the Competitive Enterprise Institute calculated the cost of regulation on the entire economy as $1.9 trillion. A hidden tax paid not by corporations, but by consumers like you. The results of the report found that the average American household pays around $14,500 annually in hidden regulatory cost. This amount exceeds every item in the household budget, which means that the typical American spends more on hidden regulatory costs than on healthcare, food, transportation, entertainment, apparel, services, or savings. And while regulations are expensive, their true cost is even bigger than we can quantify or even confined to our own borders. For example, when Amazon was looking to acquire iRobot, the European regulatory infrastructure got in the way and was even applauded by our own US counterparts. But this interference led to the termination of that acquisition and also cost hundreds of individuals their jobs. The numbers from CEI don't even account for circumstances like these. It's time to pull back the curtain on hidden regulations. We need transparency, simplification, accountability, and most importantly, we need a way to see how much these hidden policies affect consumer prices. I'm sitting in the first chair. It's sturdy and reliable. I also used all of the materials that I started with. But now let's turn to the second chair. This is the chair that government wants us to sit in. It's the government's version of how we should survive. This chair was crafted with 32% less wood to represent not only that 15% tax, but also the extra 17% cost from hidden regulations. From many angles, this chair looks the same, but like regulations are invisible, the impact of less wood in this chair largely looks invisible too. Let me assure you, I do not want to sit in this chair. And now for the moment of truth. Well, just like that flimsy chair, when the government takes too much out, it can leave our economy and us unable to hold up to the weight of our dreams and aspirations. Let's find the balance that supports growth and innovation, because together we can craft a seat at the table that actually holds up for everyone. And now I need to go find a doctor, at least if I can get an appointment.